Hi students, now we'll start modes of reproductions. Modes of reproductions we will see in different types of organisms differently. Example, organisms are of two types, single-celled organisms and multicellular organisms. Now we'll see reproduction in single-celled organisms. Let us see the activity 8.1. Take the sugar solution. To that you add the yeast cells. After that, you close the test tube and place it aside in the warm places. After 2 hours, you take a drop of the solution from the test tube and observe it under the microscope. What you will observe? You can observe a number of yeast cells. Those are the cells which are in the state of division, that is budding. Now we'll see the activity 8.2. This activity we know already. Take a wet bread piece, place it in a cool, moist and dark place for 1 to 2 days. After 1 to 2 days, what you will observe? You can see the spores which are produced on the bread. When you are observing that under a lens, you can see the picture what is there in this. That is fungus. In both these activities, what we can conclude? Yes, in yeast and in the fungus production, both the reproductions are different. That means different organisms, they reproduce differently. Types of reproductions. There are two types of reproductions in the living organisms. They are asexual reproduction and sexual reproduction. Asexual reproduction, in which a single parent is involved in the reproduction process and it produces the daughter one. But whereas in sexual reproduction, two individuals are involved to produce a new individual. Asexual reproduction and sexual reproduction, look at the picture. There we have given clearly, in asexual reproduction, single parent is taking part in the reproduction part and it is producing the daughter cell. Whereas in the sexual reproduction, a different male and female individuals are involving and they are producing the organism. Now we'll see in detail about asexual reproduction. Asexual reproductions are different types in different organisms they occur. Those are fission, fragmentation, budding, regeneration, vegetative propagation in plants and spore production. Now we start the asexual reproduction, the first type, that is fission. Fission is the process which occur in the unicellular organisms. Unicellular organisms, they mostly participate in the fission process. Fission is of two types, binary fission and multiple fission. First we'll start with the binary fission. In the name itself is there, bi means two. After the fission process, the organism, it produces two new individuals. The binary fission is a common process in the amoeba. Now we'll see binary fission in amoeba. Amoeba is an irregular organism. At first, the nucleus, it divides into two nuclei and then it is followed by the cell division. After completion of the process, amoeba, it produces two daughter cells. In amoeba, the binary fission takes place in any plane because it is an irregular organism. Now we'll see binary fission in Leishmania. Leishmania is also unicellular protozoan, but their body structure is different from amoeba. Look at the picture, what is there here. It is a spindle-shaped organism, consists of a flagella at one end. During this type of the splitting method, the binary fission takes place longitudinally so that the organism divides into two parts and each part develops into a new individual. The second type of fission is multiple fission. In the name itself is there, multiple means many. After the fission, many daughter cells are produced. This process takes place in Plasmodium. Plasmodium is a protozoan which causes a disease called malaria. In this organism, at first, the nucleus divide and then cytoplasm divide splits into many daughter cells. Now, each daughter cell is located in the cell itself. After breaking the cell, now the daughter cells are released out. Look at the picture, what is there. Now we'll see the difference between binary fission and multiple fission. Students, please make a note of this binary multiple fission differences in the notebook. The second asexual reproduction, that is through fragmentation. The fragmentation, this we can observe in Hydra and also in the Spirogyra. Look at the picture. What is fragmentation? Fragmentation is a process. This we can observe in simple, underline the point, simple multicellular organisms. During this process, the filament-like organism splits, breaks, because it may be of water current or may be of any mechanical way, into small pieces. Now each piece then regenerated or generated as a new individual. This piece grow into a new individual. This is the fragmentation process. This process we can see in Spirogyra and also we can observe in the Hydra. For this activity is there, that is, for example, if you are collecting the water sample from a pond and observing, and there you can find some thread like green color structures in the pond sample, water sample, and observe these fragments under the microscope. There you can find many filaments. These filaments are called Spirogyra. The third type of asexual reproduction is regeneration. Regeneration, it takes place in fully differentiated multicellular organism. In the previous section, we have seen fragmentation that was occurring in an simple multicellular organisms. But here, regeneration, it is observed in differentiated multicellular organism. When you are looking the organism, example it is planaria. When you are looking the organism, you can find eye-like structures and head, body-like structure. But when you are looking the Spirogyra, it does not have any differentiation. It is fully made up of cells. That's it. So that one is simple and this one is differentiated. If the individual is somehow cut or broken up into many pieces, many of these pieces grow into separate individual. This process is called regeneration. Regeneration, it occurs in planaria, Hydra, and also we can observe in the starfish. Regeneration is carried out by the special cells. That means inside the body they have different type of special cells. These cells proliferate. Proliferate means they are going to divide and make large number of cells. From this large number of the cells, different cells, that means think about 100 cells are produced. Now in those 100 cells, 10 cells undergo changes and develops into one type of tissue. This change takes place in an organized sequence referred to as development. Organized sequence means, I told you already, planaria it has eye-like, head-like and abdomen, tail-like structures. Yes or no? Now each tissue develops into a different organ. Okay, this we can see, observe in the regeneration process. The fourth type of asexual reproduction is budding. Budding process, it takes place in multicellular organisms and also in the unicellular organisms. Multicellular organism is Hydra and the unicellular organism is yeast. In this type of reproduction, a small protuberance is developed at one part of the Hydra, that is parent body. Now this protuberance bulges by accumulation of more and more fluid. Later, large cellular constituents, they enter into the protuberance. Now the protuberance, it develops into an daughter bud. Now this daughter bud grows in size. Later it divides from the mother, and then where it is taken away through water current or any mechanical way, there it is developed into an new independent individual. The fifth asexual reproduction is spore formation. Spore formation is a characteristic asexual reproduction we can observe in the fungi. So the fungi are called spore-producing organisms. Here, the spores are produced in the fungus. The spores are produced. Before going to that, we have to know the fungus structure. Fungus, it is an multicellular structure. It consists of a number of filaments are called hyphae. The hyphae are entering into the organic substances we called rhizoids and stolon. And the hyphae which are upright in position means straight from the substratum. They bear a bag-like structure called sporangia. Sporangia is a sac or bag-like structure which contain spores. The hyphae which is bearing sporangia are called sporangiophore. And the sporangia, it contain a number of spores. Due to mechanical breakdown, now the sporangia, it breaks down and it liberates spores out. Now the liberated spores, through wind or through water or through any mechanical way, they reaches to a particular place. After reaching to a moist and shady place of their favorable conditions, now the spore germinate and it produce the new fungus. In this way, the fungus, it reproduce.